In this example, we need to rewrite with rational exponents these two expressions here. We also need to rewrite with radical notation these two expressions here. So we need to review rational exponents. So here we have rational exponents. So for any natural numbers m and n, where n doesn't equal 1, and where a to the 1 over n is a real number, then a raised to the rational exponent m over n equals the nth root of a to the m, or it can be written as the nth root of a all raised to the m power. For my first two examples, I'm given them in radical notation. I need to write them as rational exponents. So I'm given the format, the nth root of a to the m, and I have to turn it into a raised to a fractional exponent. Well, if you look, the index of the radical becomes the denominator of your fraction, and the power to which you're raising your base becomes the numerator of your fraction. So in our first example, I'm going to have x raised to a fractional exponent. The index becomes the denominator. The power to which I'm raising my x, 5, becomes the numerator of my rational exponent. So the fourth root of x to the fifth equals x raised to the 5/4 power. Next example, I have the square root of x. What's the index we're too efficient to write? The index on a square root is a 2. And what exponent is just plain old x raised to? We're too efficient to write 1. So I can write this as x raised to a fractional exponent. The index 2 is the denominator of the fraction. The power that I'm raising my x to is the numerator. So the square root of x becomes x to the 1/2 power. Now we're going to be given fractional exponents, and we need to rewrite with radical notation. So in this case, I'm going to have some kind of radical with x underneath my radical. And what is the index on the radical? It is a 3. And what's the power I'm going to raise my x to? It's a 1. But do we ever write x to the first power? No. So this just becomes the cube root of x. And my last example, x raised to the 3/2 power. In radical notation, I have my radical. X is underneath the radical. The index is the denominator of the fraction is a 2. And I'm going to raise my x to the numerator, so I'm going to raise my x to the 3rd power. Do we ever write an index of 2 on a radical? No, that's a square root. So we're just going to write the square root of x cubed.